everyone. Today on Common Sense, I'm sitting down to talk all things money with Suzanne Robertson. Hey, Suzanne.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great. And you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's get started. How long have you been working in the financial world?
33 years this August.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Is it always something you wanted to do?
I was a baby when I started. That's what I tell everybody. I graduated high school in 86. Didn't really know what I wanted to do, if I wanted to go to college, what I wanted to be when I grew up. My mom actually ran into Deanie Kelly at the post office. And Deanie, of course, was asking her if I had plans and was I moving off. And she said, no, she really hasn't decided. And he said, well, send her in tomorrow and talk to me. I might have a place for her. So she calls me that night because I was in Tuscaloosa with a friend helping her move. And she said, you need to wrap things up tonight. I've got you a job interview tomorrow. And I said, a job interview? And she said, yes. She said, until you make your mind up as to what you're going to be when you grow up, you're going to work. So 33 years later, here I am.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing that your mom cared.
It's kind of crazy.
And set you up for success, clearly.
Exactly.
I love that. That's quite a story. Mm-hmm. Well, it's almost like you didn't have to decide.
I didn't. She made that decision.
That's amazing. Well, we're glad you're here.
Mm-hmm.
What areas then of the financial world would you consider yourself an expert in after 33 years?
Lending. Lending is my passion. I've worked in loans now for, 29 of those 33 years. So that's really where I love to be.
And is that because of what you get to do for people, the people you meet, the stories you hear? Why do you love that part?
Yes. You get to help people. And I love talking. And I get to see, you just meet different types of people. It's been really great for me. I love it.
I can imagine you'd need part financial expert and part people person in that role.
Exactly. Because they literally, you're seeing these people sometimes every week and they're calling on you and you eventually build a relationship that they might call you for financial advice and not necessarily need a loan. So it's been really good.
What is your favorite part outside of the people you get to meet of being in the financial world? Is it getting to actually deal with numbers or help people acquire something they may need, or hearing the stories? What would you say is the core part that brings you back to work every day?
It would have to be the people, because that's what, the people are why we're successful. That's why we're here. Mm-hmm. So that's my reason. That's why I love what I do.
What is one financial lesson you've learned and implemented in your own personal life or with your family?
I wish I had saved more. Being a single parent, I was the only income, the only provider. If I had to do things over again, I would have saved a lot more than I have. That's huge. That is very important. And as I've gotten older, I've realized that things are just things. It's not necessarily important that you have them. A savings account is huge.
And is that something because you maybe learned it too late for your preference that you've tried to implement?
Yes, way late. Mm-hmm. Start young. Don't wait until you're in your 30s. Start young.
And you mentioned saving for not necessarily things, but would you then say that it's better to spend money on an experience or something you can do as a family? What would you then say money should be spent on?
Well, number one, a house, a vehicle, not necessarily the nicest one, but a vehicle, something to get you from point A to point B. That's another thing I've learned the older I've got. But experiences are wonderful. Take that trip, save money for that trip. It's great.
Right. Don't necessarily go into debt over the trip.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Do you have any favorite or go-to financial resources like books or budgets or websites, anything that you've turned to that has helped you maybe in the savings journey?
Okay, a while back, a coworker shared with me a budget that he uses. So I put it on my desktop at work and I keyed in all of my bills along with my payday. That is exactly how I gauge what I can spend. After everything is paid, what is left to do whatever I want to with. And, of course, after I've put some back.
And what's your leftover fund money for?
It's usually for traveling, going places. Yeah.
Well, then I'm curious about your answer to this one. Let's say you have an unexpected $1,000. Do you spend it, save it, invest it? What would you use that money for?
I would probably pay a bill first. Number one, you're probably paying more interest than you are making on a savings account. I would pay the bill first. And if the bills are paid, then save it. If you have a nice nest egg, then spend it.
That's a good rule.
Yeah.
Bills first, then save it. When the nest egg's too big, go spend it.
That's right. Take a trip.
Like it. What would be one money tip or piece of financial parting advice that you live by or you swear by that we could give to our listeners and our audience?
The savings. That's what I've been trying to teach my daughter. She will be graduating from college this year, and she's going to be looking for that full-time grown-up job. And I have been trying to instill in her, it's great to have some put back.
Do you think she's hearing you?
No, she's not. When I look at her account and the history, I know she's not listening, but hopefully she will when it comes that time.
It's one of those conversations that you don't want people to experience and only realize the importance of when it's too late.
Right.
But it's hard to gauge.
Right, it is.
If they're hearing you.
It is. It's easier to advise than it is to live it. You've got to live it.
Yeah. That alone is great advice.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Suzanne. We appreciate your tips and your expertise.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you guys next time.